Hey YouTube land, Commader here, doing hopefully the first review of many for 2024. Now this is something I picked up just before Christmas in 23. Entertainment Earth did a kind of sale stung thing where they reduced the price of a lot of the Super 7 Ultimates figures, and among those was a couple of the G.I. Joe line. So I hadn't really intended on picking up any more than just the one that I had, which was the Destro repaint, which is the Red Jackal Destro repaint. But these guys came in and they dropped the price to about roughly around $10 a pop, which is nearly 80% off their retail price. They're usually about 50, so down to about a tenner was a really good steal of a deal. So I couldn't pass that up, and what I did was I picked up a couple of these guys. So I picked up the head honcho of Cobra here, Cobra Commander. I also picked up the head honcho of, well, one of the head honchos of the G.I. Joe team, which is in the form of Duke. And then I picked up the army builder of the Bat. So I ended up picking up two of the Bats just to see what they were like. So you get a standard brown mailer box, outer box for the figure. If I just pop them in the background. So you get this kind of G.I. Joe logoed Cobra Commander title box. And then it just has the kind of small parts, adult collectors, all that kind of stuff. And then within that box, you were treated to this really nicely done blue. It's not just a straight blue, it's actually like a blue camo. So there's actually kind of a, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but there's darker streaks of blue and a lighter blue with the Cobra emblem on it. The Bats box are pretty similar, and you have the dog tag with Cobra Commander enemy leader on the box. There is an embossed style G.I. Joe logo with these kind of worn edges on the back, which is pretty nicely done. You have G.I. Joe Wave 1 Cobra 01 on the side. And then you just have more embossing with that kind of frayed, worn edging to it. And when you take off the slip cover, you're treated to the figure, who is currently falling flat on his face inside with all his gear. And then on the back of the box, you have an image of Cobra Commander from the cartoon, because these are based on the cartoon appearances. And then it has a file card of sorts. So it says Cobra Commander, enemy leader, file name, classified, primary military specialist or speciality, intelligence, secondary military speciality, ordnance, experiment, weaponry, birthplace, classified, grade, Cobra Commander-in-Chief, absolute power, total control of the world, its people, wealth, and resources. That's the objective for Cobra Commander, this fanatical leader. Rules with an iron fist. He demands total loyalty and allegiance. His main battle plan for world control relies on his revolution and chaos, and his personally led uprisings in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and other troubled spots, responsible for kidnapping scientists, businessmen, and military leaders, then forcing them to reveal their top-level secrets. Cobra Commander is hatred and evil personified, corrupt, a man without scruples, probably not the most dangerous man alive, which is what is all written on the back. Ugh. So I'm not sure if that's the same file card that they had on the 3 3/4" figure, but it is the one that's on this one. So now the figure I have here is not exactly how he comes in the box. He does have the closed fist hands, I believe, in the box, or it could be the trigger figure hands. I'm not too sure. I've had him for a couple of days, so I've been messing around with him, taking some photos. His default head in the box is this one. So he's actually wearing his alternate head. So he has two looks. He has these kind of cartoon, well, they're both cartoon appearance, but sometimes his cartoon appearance would have this kind of grayish white stripe going along the top of his helmet, and then sometimes it didn't. He has a removable cloak, which is on a wireframe, which is quite nicely done. I would have loved to seen them do the cloak with black on the outside and the red on, or the kind of reddish pink on the inside, because that's how in some of the cartoon depictions, he had a kind of black cloak on the outside with Cobra pins on the side. These are just standard pins. It would have been nice if they did Cobra emblem, small tiny Cobra emblem pins. That might have been a bit of a stretch for them. He comes with a plethora of extra bits. So he comes with Cobra logoed binoculars, because obviously everything has to have the Cobra logo on them. You know, it needs to have that trademark. He has a pistol. Now, I know there's specific names for some of these, and I can't remember them off the top. He has a remote control detonator, if I recall. Again, Cobra logo on it. I don't think everything has a Cobra logo on it, but some things do. He has this alternate kind of controller box. I'm pretty sure this is... nearly all the accessories in this figure are tune specific to certain things. Like this laser rifle, I can remember seeing it in the cartoon. I just can't remember what it was called. But it has like a picture of a dog. In fact, I think it's the one where he uses it to turn Junkyard against Mutt. He uses it to basically turn the Joe's animal companions against them. He comes with this laser rifle, this larger laser rifle. It is interesting that it doesn't have a standard handle, so I'm not quite sure if there's a dedicated hand for it. I'd imagine there might be. Could be this one. In fact, it has a very wide grip, so it could be this particular one. Yeah, I'd say it's this one. So all his accessories tend to yeah, that's the hand for this one. So all his accessories tend to have a either specific hand for them or generically neutral hands. So he has, as I said, he has the two gripping or the closed fist hands. He has a left and right gripping hand, which you can see he has two pistols. He has one that resembles his Venom pistol kind of a bit more, and then there's like two laser pistols, one with Cobra emblems, one without. He has a serpent staff, which is again a separate piece, and he has a dedicated hand with a very small grip hole, so he has hold of it. He has a serpent coiled around the earth as an accessory, but he has an extra hand that's a dedicated hand for it. It has a peg in it, and there is a small peg. It's not a full round peg, it's actually a semicircular peg, so it only goes on one direction onto this. Which I'm probably putting it on the wrong way now, am I? Am I putting it on the wrong way? No, it should be that way. Yes, so it pegs in one specific way. He has an outstretched hand. Technically, his other outstretched hand is the one with the peg on it, but he has kind of a more outstretched, like, splayed finger hand. He has a grip hand that can hold onto some of the other accessories, like this control box. It kind of looks like it'll grip that easily enough. The grip kind of grips the controller. You have to be kind of a bit careful with it. He has the trademark pointy finger hand. And then I think that's pretty much it for all the accessory hands. So he has that larger rifle, and he has a larger grip hand for that rifle as well. Depending on which hand you have in, it will have a different hinge. So these ones have kind of side to side, or kind of like a up down, whereas the grip hands, some of them have a horizontal instead of vertical switch to, or vertical position to them. But the figure himself is actually quite nice. So if I bring in my tape measure, you can see he stands just around the 7-inch mark. He is quite articulated. He's actually quite nicely done, and I like the kind of baby blue with royal blue kind of paintwork on him. Now, unlike the other Cobra Commanders, well, the 3 1/4-inch one, he doesn't have that kind of storage thing on his back for his Venom pistol, because he's more cartoon accurate. He didn't have that in the cartoon. The action figure did, but the cartoon version of him didn't. He does have a ball joint on the waist. He has a ball jointed head, which gives good range of movement. You can look down a bit, you can look back a bit. Can't look up too much because of the the back piece of the helmet does hinder it a small bit, but he still gets a good range of movement. Coupled to a waist articulation, which the Destro figure didn't have because of the way his chest is designed. He has that big pauldron, and I'll bring him in a little while. You'll see the difference. Arm can rotate all the way around, can splay out that much, can rotate at the bicep, has a single jointed elbow with a swivel, has a wrist, and depending on which peg you have in, will either be up or down or side to side. His legs can kick forward that much. You can get a good seated position, not so much in the back position. Single jointed leg, knee with a good 90-degree bend. He has peg holes on the bottom of his feet, and he does have a rocker ankle with tilt. So he has quite a good range of movement. As I said, that ball joint is on the waist, so it gets a good range of movement on that. So depending on what way you have him kitted out and what weapons you have on him, I still think he looks pretty good. Even with the pinkish cloak, he looks pretty good. He looks a pretty dapper style Cobra Commander. So for scale comparison, I will bring in one of Super 7's other kind of villain characters, which I have to hand, and that is Oroko Sake, aka Shredder. Now this is the Turtles toon line, or Turtles figure line, so his scale is sort of similar, but like you can see some of the proportions are different. His head is a lot larger because these are based on the action figures, whereas these are based on cartoon depictions. So his head is going to be a good bit bigger. He does scale close enough. I mean, you could almost get away with him being in the same universe. They still have that kind of cartoonish appearance. And then, as I have him, I'm going to bring him in, the Red Jackal Destro repaint. As you can see, what I mean about the waist, he doesn't have the diaphragm joint because of the way this big collar piece is sculpted onto him. But you have a really cool look. I am tempted now to pick up the actual Destro to go with this, because you can't really have Cobra Commander without Destro. He kind of, you know, they kind of go alongside each other. But all in all, he is a really cool figure. I will get around to doing reviews for the Bats and for Duke. It's just getting the time to do it at the moment is a little tight. But I wanted to kick off this 2024 year with this Cobra Commander review. And hopefully my goal for my channel for this year is to try and get to the 10k subscriber mark. I know I'm a good bit off. I'm only down at the 3k mark, just above 3k. So for this year, I'm going to try and concentrate on trying to get to at least 10k, so people, and so I can get a lot more subscriber base for my channel, and hopefully improve my recording skills and review skills and hopefully editing skills all along the way. So hopefully this journey will be worth it, and I hope everyone had a good in 2024. Sorry if you can hear that in the background. It is a plane going across the house and it's very loud for some reason. But hopefully everyone had a good New Year's and are well recovered by the time this video goes up. And I hope you enjoy this video. I have a lot more stuff to review, a lot more stuff to come, and I have some plans for my channel as well. Stuff that I was planning to do last year that I didn't get to go do. So hopefully I'll get around to doing it this year. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Cobra Commander review for the Super 7 Ultimates line. It is a good line. Is it worth the price point? It is and it isn't. The thing is, over here, with bringing them in, importing them in, figures end up being quite pricey in the sense that they end up being nearly 70 quid. Whereas if you buy them direct in the States and you're living in the States, they only tend to be around the 50. So there is a 20 euro, $20, whichever way you want to see it, markup difference between the figures, between their release here in Europe and the ones in the US. So it does kind of kill the drive to pick them up. When Entertainment Dirt had them for so cheap, it was just like, have to get them. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video review. I'm going to wrap it up here, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.